This topic is about ethics. From learning module, Ethics and Trust in the Investment Profession. Ethics are shared beliefs in societies or professions about right and wrong. Not government rules, that's law. Not just personal gain calculations, that's self-interest. Ethical principles are fundamentally shared beliefs within communities about what behavior is obligatory or forbidden. Option A is wrong. Legal requirements with penalties describe law. Ethics and law are distinct. Something can be legal yet unethical. Option C is wrong. Personal benefit calculations describe self-interest. Ethics requires considering others and shared standards, not just maximizing personal gain. Professional groups create rules to ensure members act responsibly. Some rules are basic requirements. Everyone must follow them, while others are broader guidelines, help make ethical choices. Standards of conduct are the foundation. Codes of ethics and mission statements are broader or unrelated. Standards of conduct are the exact rules members must follow, such as keep client information private. They define the minimum acceptable behavior. Code of ethics gives big picture principles, such as be honest, but doesn't list specific required behaviors. Mission statement explains the group's purpose, such as to improve public health, not rules for behavior. This topic is about ethics and professionalism. Standards of conduct are more detailed rules that tell professionals exactly what they can and cannot do in certain situations. Codes of ethics are like a promise or a set of values that professionals agree to follow, but they might not be very specific. Laws and regulations are rules made by the government that everyone has to follow, but they might not cover every aspect of professional behavior in the investment industry. Option B is correct. Profession is a job requiring specialized training, serving the public, and following a shared ethical code, such as doctors, lawyers, investment analysts. Vocation is a job you're passionate about, but not necessarily with formal training or ethics rules, such as art or teaching for love, not just skill. Occupation is any job, such as cashier, driver, without needing expert skills or ethic rules. The analyst uses specialized skills, serves clients, and follows ethics. This fits profession. They manage money for clients over a long time. Clients need to believe the firm will act in their best interest. Option B is correct. If clients don't trust the firm, they won't give their money for a long-term management. Without trust, the firm can't earn fees. Option A is incorrect. Regulators don't give trust scores for licenses. They check if firms follow rules, not trust levels. Option C is incorrect. Trust doesn't make returns higher. Returns depend on markets and strategies, not trust. Professional body such as CFA Institute, doctors associations, requires members to follow ethical rules, punish those who break them, and aim to protect the public. Professional bodies are the only ones that combine voluntary membership with strict ethical rules and penalties for violations. Trade associations help businesses in the same industry work together, such as banks or retailers. They don't enforce strict rules or punish members for ethics violations. Regulatory agencies are government groups, such as SEC, that make and enforce laws for everyone, not just members. Analysts don't join them voluntarily. Groups like CFA Institute or FINRA make rules for advisors to follow, including ongoing training, careful work, and client-first rules. Professional bodies' code of ethics and conduct combines all three requirements: ongoing education, diligence, and client priority. B is incorrect. A company's own rules might cover some basics, but they don't usually require ongoing education or set strict ethical standards for all advisors. C is incorrect. Schools or training groups teach skills but don't enforce ongoing rules or fiduciary duties after certification. Professional bodies create standards on paper. But trust only survives when firms' daily culture supports those standards. Without firm cooperation, professionals face pressure to cut corners, even when they know better. Option C is correct because trust needs both professionals with ethical commitment and firms that reward ethical behavior in practice. This mutual dependency keeps trust alive. Option A is incorrect. Regulators enforce legal minimums from outside. They support trust but don't create the daily work environment where ethics happens. Option B is incorrect. Compliance manuals are just documents. Manuals alone create check-the-box behavior without changing firm culture that pressures unethical choices. The code is not meant to punish members for past mistakes, like fines or suspensions. The code is about setting standards, what's right or wrong, and preventing problems, not punishing after they happen. Punishments are handled by separate rules, like the CFA's Professional Conduct Program, not the code itself. Trust is fragile because investors cannot watch how their money is managed. Information asymmetry. They rely on belief that all professionals act ethically. One big public breach shatters that belief across the whole profession. Option B is correct. Significant public breaches directly erode profession-wide trust. Trust operates collectively. When one prominent professional fails, the public questions whether ethical standards are upheld anywhere. Option A is incorrect. Systemic factors matter, but individual breaches alone can damage confidence. Trust doesn't require market-wide collapse to break. Option C is incorrect. Good reputations don't automatically cancel bad ones. Trust is a shared asset. Breaches trigger doubt about the entire profession's integrity, not just the individual. Businesses and markets thrive on trust. When trust erodes from unethical behavior, such as misleading reports, clients leave, business declines. Investors do not accept lower returns or buy more. They demand higher returns, such as compensation for perceived extra risk, or avoid the advisor. This topic is about challenges to ethical conduct. Overconfidence bias is when someone thinks they are better or stronger than they really are, leading them to ignore risks. Option A is incorrect. Situational influence of loyalty to colleagues means doing something unethical because of pressure from coworkers. The question is about the manager's own belief, not others' influences. B is incorrect. External pressure of a promised financial reward means the bonus is the external pressure, but the question is about why he thinks he won't be influenced by it, not the pressure itself. B is correct. Focus on long-term damage. Think about how lying could hurt your reputation or the firm's trust with clients over time. This helps resist short-term temptations. Avoid short-term thinking. Instead, think about the long-term costs. Option A is incorrect. Rules are helpful, but they might not stop someone from bending them if the pressure is strong. Option C is incorrect. Believing you're honest is good, but it doesn't stop situational pressures, such as when everyone else is doing it. It turns decisions into simple rule checks. Is this forbidden? Yes or no? It doesn't teach you to think about stakeholders, long-term harm, or gray areas where rules are silent. It creates a false sense of security. You follow the rule, so you must be ethical. Option A is correct. Compliance oversimplifies hard choices. Option B is incorrect. Memorizing rules doesn't help if the pressure is to break them, such as everyone else is doing it. Option C is incorrect. Compliance might protect clients in some cases, but ethical frameworks also weigh other factors, such as fairness to others or legal risks. Education doesn't make someone automatically ethical. Ethical behavior requires conscious choices, not just qualifications. Overconfidence makes people ignore real-world pressures, such as client pressure, financial gain, leading to poor decisions. This is a cognitive bias, a mistake in thinking, where someone overestimates their ability to resist temptation. Option A is incorrect. Appropriate confidence means trusting your skills but still being careful. This advisor isn't being careful. He thinks he's immune to mistakes. B is incorrect. An ethical framework means having clear rules or steps to follow, such as saying no to gifts. The advisor isn't using rules. He's relying on his education alone. Look at what causes the belief. It comes from inside the person, her own view of herself. It's not caused by outside pressure or by thinking only about quick rewards. Belief about being better or stronger in ethics than others, with no real evidence, points to overconfidence. Separate two types of challenges. Situational influences are things outside the person, external pressures or environment. Other challenges are things inside the person, personal beliefs or character. Situational influences are external factors that push or tempt someone to act unethically. Company culture and incentive programs come from the workplace environment. They are external. An individual's sense of right and wrong, personal moral principles, individual character are personal and internal. They belong to the person, not the situation. This topic is about ethical versus legal standards. Understand front running. The advisor uses client order info to trade for personal profit before the client's trade happens. This is unfair to clients because the advisor's actions could affect the price the client pays. B is correct. The CFA Institute says advisors must always act in clients' best interests, fiduciary duty, even if the law doesn't require it. Option A is incorrect. It says it's okay because the law doesn't stop it. Option C is incorrect. It says it's both illegal and wrong, but the question says the law doesn't stop it. So this is false. Laws set minimum floors that vary by country. Ethics sets consistent professional expectations that often require more than law demands. Example, insider trading may be legal where no law prohibits it, but remains unethical everywhere. Option B is correct because ethical standards apply globally and consistently require conduct beyond legal minimums, especially where laws are weak or absent. Option A is incorrect. Legal compliance does not guarantee ethical conduct. Laws vary by location and set floors, not ceilings. Option C is incorrect. Ethical obligations never become irrelevant. They apply consistently regardless of local law strength. Remember, regulators set legal standards, minimum rules. Ethical standards are higher and usually come from professions, not regulators. The rule says suitable, but does not say client's best interest first. Suitability is a legal minimum, not the full ethical duty or fiduciary. Different countries have different legal rules. Some only suitability, some fiduciary. Ethical conduct balances self-interest with consequences for others. Consequences include reputational harm when trust is lost. Ethics is not the same as following laws only. Ethics is not just about returns, it includes honesty, fairness, and stakeholder impacts. This topic is about ethical decision-making frameworks. Ethical frameworks are flexible, not rigid. Ethics involves judgment, not just numbers. The main goal is to spot and avoid hidden ethical risks. Ethics is not the same as rules. The framework guides thinking, not blind following. Numbers aren't everything. Ethics requires considering people, context, and values. Option C is correct. The framework helps catch problems you might miss. Ethics says to try to fix problems inside the firm first before going outside. Talking to a senior person is the right first step because they can help review the issue fairly and quickly. Remember the four phases in order. Identify. Spot the ethical issue exists. Second phase. Consider. Gather information. Consult policies or compliance. Weigh options. Third phase. Decide. Make and act on your choice. Last phase. Reflect. Review results afterward. Consulting compliance and reviewing standards happens while gathering information, after you see the conflict, but before you decide. Option B is correct. Because seeking guidance from compliance and standards is part of information gathering and evaluation before the final decision. Option A is incorrect. Identify ends when you recognize the conflict. Consulting happens after recognition. Option C is incorrect. Decide is when you actually choose and act, not while still seeking advice. Four phases in order. Identify is to spot the ethical issue and who's affected. Consider is to check for hidden pressures or biases and seek guidance before deciding. Decide is to make and act on your choice. Reflect is to review results after the decision. Short-term incentives are situational influences that distort judgment. They must be evaluated while still gathering information, not after deciding. Evaluating situational influences like bonus incentives happens during consider phase, after identifying the issue but before the final choice. It's option B. Option A is incorrect. Identify phase recognizes stakeholders and duties, but doesn't yet analyze how pressures distort judgment. Option C is incorrect. Reflect phase reviews outcomes after action. Evaluating bonus influences must happen before deciding. Responsible professionals must identify ethical issues and create solutions even when no clear rule exists. This means decisions need careful thought, not just personal comfort. Short-term comfort or pressure lead to bad outcomes. Relying on feeling alone ignores facts, stakeholders, and consequences. Unethical behavior destroys trust and hurts everyone in the firm. A code and training are helpful, but not enough if senior leaders do not live and show integrity every day. Employees watch what management actually does, not only what is written. When leaders demonstrate strong integrity, it creates a real culture where ethical choices are expected and normal.